Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister misled many would-be migrants to illegally cross the border. In response to a problem of his own making, the Prime Minister is throwing Canadian tax dollars at a problem with no concrete plan. And yesterday, the Prime Minister refused to even commit to a plan. Can the Prime Minister tell this House, does he believe it is wrong to illegally cross the border and jump the queue?
Great question. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, not only have I answered that question today, I've answered it many times over the past months. Crossing a border between official border crossings is illegal. Now, Mr. Speaker, what the members opposite want us to do is to step back from their international commitments.
So pleased everyone is happy, but one person at a time, please. One at a time. Order. Allah. The Right Honourable Prime Minister has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, what the members opposite seem to take issue with is actually the commitment Canada has made to the international community to respect the rights of asylum seekers and refugees. If someone claims asylum because they're fleeing persecution, war, or violence, we are required to analyze that request. We are a party to the International Convention on Refugees, and therefore we will stay true to our obligations.
Last year alone, over 20,000 people crossed the border illegally, as the Prime Minister now acknowledges, and that problem is only getting worse. The people who are really suffering are those men and women and their families who are trying to come to Canada legally but are being put at the back of the line because of this Prime Minister's inaction. The Prime Minister has just acknowledged that the problem at the border is a problem of legality. He is the Prime Minister after all. What is his answer to this ever-growing crisis, Mr. Speaker?
Honourable Prime Minister.
First of all, Mr. Speaker, the answer is not to stoke fears amongst Canadians and new arrivals about what is actually happening. We have a strong and rigorous immigration system that is being applied to everyone who arrives in this country. If they arrive between border points, they are ensured that they are arrested. They go through a process whereby if they call for asylum, we have to respect our international conventions to analyze the request for asylum. That's what Canadians expect, and that's what we're bringing.
The Honourable Opposition House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me be very clear. I am not invoking or I'm not talking about fear. I'm talking about an illegal issue at our border, Mr. Speaker, where people are coming across the border illegally. Our borders matter. Or don't they matter to this Prime Minister? So the Prime Minister needs to answer to Canadians who are concerned. They're not racist, Mr. Speaker. Canadians who are concerned are not racist. People who are trying to come to Canada legally are not racist, Mr. Speaker. They have a legitimate concern, and the Prime Minister needs to, instead of laughing, answer the...
All right. Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what we have been saying for months and indeed years now is the integrity of Canada's immigration system is holding. We are ensuring that anyone who arrives in this country, whether it's regularly or irregularly, goes through security checks, goes through a rigorous immigration system that Canadians can be reassured is being applied to the full extent of the laws and rules that Canadians expect. To suggest otherwise is simply irresponsible, polarizing politics.